Hi, welcome to Cozy Tingle Library. How are you today? Good. You wanted to open your own account? Yeah, that's absolutely no problem. I can help you with that. Okay, so I do have to ask, is this the first time that you try to open an account here? Okay, and did you see it online? Okay, you do have to have a bill. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. A bill and an ID. Do you have that with you? Okay, perfect. Let me just sign in real quick. And I can help you. All right. Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions and then we'll get started with everything. I'll give you a card and you can check out any books. I can even help you find any books that you like, okay? Sounds good? Perfect. Okay, so what is your first name? And middle initial if you have one. All right. And last name? With two Z's. Okay, and what is your date of birth? Okay, thank you. And your mailing address? Okay, and that is in town? I know. Yeah, we live in 3 like pretty close cities, so there's a lot of people that come from other towns that want to open accounts. Yeah. Okay, and zip code. Perfect. All right. And may I see your bill? You can just show it to me right here. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Okay, and your ID? Yeah, I just need to see your driver's license if you have it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, right. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you about your reading preference, and then we'll get an idea of what you like, what you don't like, and things like that, okay? Sounds good? Okay, so what ranking from 1 to 5, what genre would you say is your favorite? Thriller? Okay, that's number 1. Okay, and number 2? Horror? Okay. Number 3? Romance? Okay. You want to get into romance a little more? Okay, that's no problem. I can help you definitely. And then number 4, fantasy. Okay, sci-fi, things like that. Okay, perfect. And your 5th ranking or least favorite? Self-help. I get that. It's not for everybody. Definitely. Okay. And you would say that you read how many books per month? 3 to 4? Okay. And then would you say that you read a book per week and a half? Okay, so you're an avid reader. You like to read a lot. Okay, perfect. And just so you know, we have a lot of perks here at this library. We try to do every Tuesday. If you have kiddos, I don't know if you do. You do. Okay, so you can definitely check out books with your library card, and you can also open their own library card as well if that's what you want to do. I know that some kids like to feel independent, and so that is something that we offer. Also, every Thursday at 10 there is a reading with Miss Rachel, and she basically does like a little circle time, and she reads for the kids, and it lasts about 30 minutes, and then she does like a little activity. Sometimes they go outside and play in the playground. Sometimes they do a craft depending on if it's like near a holiday, things like that. They do like tea parties or like reading with Bluey, something like that. So it's pretty cool. For adults, we also have a book club that meets every Friday, I believe, around 5, and it's basically a book that is chosen every week, and then you meet up and discuss and everything like that. It's pretty cool, and everybody really loves and enjoys coming because you get to make friends and read a cool book. So that's awesome, and it's not always the same genre, so it helps if you like one thing or if you want to explore different genres. It's definitely something fun. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to tell you about that. And then we also partner up with the city a lot of the times for events like summer nights, and they do like music and things like that. It's through the library, so that's pretty cool. Okay, now that I've told you that, I'm going to go ahead and print your library card, and I will give it to you just a sec. Okay, alright. Alrighty. Okay, so that's for you. And then I have a couple of book recommendations. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the first one, and it's this one called Foe. This one is not too thick, so I think you enjoy it because you say that you read like about one and a half weeks. Sorry, it takes you about one and a half weeks to read a book, so you think you would really enjoy it. And this one's about to be I believe it's going to be into a movie. But basically what it says is, we don't get visitors, not out here, we never have. And this is like a psychological thriller book, so right up your alley. And then it examines the nature of domestic relationship, self-determination, and what it means to be or not to be a person. So I've heard really good reviews for this one. So if you're interested, you definitely should check this one out. Now, this one is one of those books that you need to really be into this kind of genre. It's called Tender is the Flesh, and it's not for everybody, let me tell you. But basically it is, I don't know if it would be under horror or yeah, no, like I'm not sure if that's the genre, but basically is about a family that has a peculiar I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like in those times that in the future, you know, if we run out of like food and things like that. I can't remember what that kind of genre right now, but it's pretty good. And then I'll read you the back. It says, a brutal tale of what humans are capable of inflicting on themselves when social norms collapse. So if you are pretty interested, grotesque, gloriously nasty, utterly compelling. So it's kind of one of those uncomfortable books. Nothing like, it's more like psychological, if you get what I'm saying. Okay, so I know that you said that you wanted to get into a little bit of romance, so the next books that I have are kind of easy reads. This one's called The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and this is basically a girl that gets a pumpkin cafe inherited, and she has to navigate, you know, opening her new cafe, and she has a grumpy neighbor, and you know, it is a spicy book, if you know what I mean. And then it's the season to fall in love is what it says. A small town spicy romance. When Janine's aunt gives her the beloved pumpkin spice cafe in the small town of Dream Harbor, Jeannie jumps at the chance for a fresh start away from the very dull desk job. And I know it's not pumpkin spice time, but I think the weather still allows you to read this and feel comfortable. Okay, another one is this one called Throttle. Okay, and this is dual point of view, and it's the story between Noah and Maya. Noah is a Formula One driver, and yeah, he encounters Maya, and it's a romance book. So if you're into those kind of books and you said you wanted to get more into them, I think this one would be a good one as well. And then we have this one that's called Love in Other Words, and this is basically a story between lovers that met when they were younger, so it's kind of like a sweet romance story. It says a dynamic love story that will restore anyone's faith in love. So I had more recommendations, so give me 1 second. Okay, the next book recommendation is called The Nightingale, and this one is very popular amongst our guests here at the library. It is a historical novel, and it centers around World War II, and it is a story of women in war. So if you're into that, this is one that you would probably want to pick up. It's very popular, and I believe it's also going to be, sorry about that noise. Okay, this is also going to be a movie, soon to be motion picture, so this is a good one if you want to pick up one of those. And then I know you said you were into fantasy romance, so we have this big book. Okay, so this one is called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and this one is more like a fantasy novel, and it's about a girl that wishes she was invisible, and then it happens, and I believe not invisible, I believe that people forget who she is, so it kind of follows her story of a girl that wants to be forgotten and how she navigates that. So this one's an interesting one. And lastly, another romance is called Archer's Voice, and it's a small town romance, a girl that runs away from her regular life, and she meets a guy that does not talk, and so it has to do with trauma. So I think it does have a one of those like warnings. So it's a beautiful story though. I really liked this one. Okay, so based on the recommendations, what do you think you would like to check out? Okay, The Nightingale, got it. What else? You can pick as many as you want. Okay, The Nightingale, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Just those two? Alright. No problem. Let me go ahead and scan them for you. see. Then this one. Oops. Delete that. Alright. Perfect. Okay, so just these two. Oh yeah, you can add another one. You want a romance one? I recommend Archer's Voice. Yeah, of course. Okay. So you already have your account pulled up, so there's no problem with that. You don't need your card right now. Okay. Here are these. Okay, perfect. All right. So you don't have to give them back until February 3rd. Okay. So just bring them back. We do have a box where you can leave them out, but we do recommend you bring them inside, especially if you're going to check out, if you want to check out more books. Okay. All right. Well, then I'll see you next month.